I love Lacey so much, and I love all of you girls, and I love your site, and your work has helped me so much. I think, did it launch in like just January of this year?
No, so the site itself, I started,
okay.
I think in 2013.
Wow, but the Formula and Mag, I started,
Yes,
I know
that-
you launched Formula,
yes.
like I was like on it. I was
You
waiting
were
for
on
you
it,
to launch
yeah.
it.
Yep.
And that's, and it's been so transformative.
Yeah, we launched that last December. Amanda produced that, and
It's not that long ago, but it
No.
feels like you've, like it's hit everybody,
I know.
you know?
Yeah, oh, I'm so thankful too, because I
Yes.
do have so many people coming up now and being like, oh my God, I'm doing this and that, and I'm like, my job's working.
It's working.
Finally, so thank you for sharing
Thank
that.
you.
Yeah, what would you say to the artist that's like struggling,
Yeah.
so poor right now, has had nothing but rejection? It's so important to hear
Yes.
this.
Oh, I have so many things to say. Well, one thing, when I read the script of Two Broke Girls, in my gut, I went, I have to play this character. I love this character. There's something about this character that is me. And I said to my now husband, he was my boyfriend at the time, I said, I just read the script. I'm going to go in for it. They're going to go with a name. It's Michael Patrick King and Whitney Cummings. There's no way I'm going to get this part. And he said, you know what? That's exactly what John Hamm said before he got Mad Men. My husband was
I
on
had
Mad
the
Men, yeah, for
chills.
years. And I went, oh, well, if John, Expander, if
Total
John can do
expander.
it, I can do it. I also have to tell you a story.
Yes, tell it, please, because this is going to
That I've been dying to tell you. That I had a free and native like girls group over at my house the other week, and they were like, I know you have to come. They were like, you have to tell Lacey this story. So I was an obsessive, like you manifest, like The Secret. Right before Two Broke Girls, I became obsessed with. I thought, I'm going to follow this to a T.
Yeah.
And
I think any poor artist has
Does.
been down that road,
Yes.
man. Yeah.
But do you guys remember a movie? There was a movie called Waiting with Ryan Reynolds. It was about waiters at like a Chili's.
Kind of, yeah. And he has the love interest as what's her name?
It's Anna Faris, I
Yes,
think.
yes.
Or it's
Or the pretty-
someone super funny.
Yeah, the blonde and funny.
Yes.
Could have been Anna Faris.
I forget
but
now
the other
who-
one. I know what you mean, but anyways.
We're going to look
yeah.
it up after and
yeah.
give them a big shout out because it's a great film.
Yeah, really good.
But they were going to make a TV show of it, and I was up for it. And I had auditioned or whatever, and it was looking good. And it was like waiters in a restaurant. And every night before I went to bed for like 6 months, I did The Secret. I visualized myself in a waitress uniform, like on television. I had the whole vision board, everything. And like Two Broke Girls came around, and like I was a waitress on television. But now after doing your work, I'm like, because The Secret never worked again for me. It worked that one time, and then. But now I realize, I was expanded.
Yeah.
I was in my worth. I knew the part was for me. I thought I could do it. And to be honest, to all the artists out there are going to be things that you read that you're like, wow, I really love this. And you go in, and maybe there's just some sort of disconnect. Like it just.
Yeah.
You walk into the room and it's either you or you're not. And,
yeah, it's exactly.
And so when you feel like something like Two Broke, where I walked out of my audition where I finally got to meet Whitney and Michael Patrick King, and I walked out and I called my agent and I was like, I got the job.
Yep.
And they were
I
like,
always knew when it
you're
would happen.
out of your mind.
Yes.
You did not get this
I
job.
love your representation.
Well, they were like, come on, you just did 3 pre-reads and then 1 read for the producers. Like, but I felt my grandma who had been like such an incredible presence in my life. Like I kind of left the room and I remember like leaning up against the wall and like starting to tear up and feeling like the messaging I got was, you're going to be okay.
Your ancestor. Well, that's what this month is all about, is how to work with your ancestors.
Oh.
And the newsletters and stuff.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
crazy.
It's
well,
powerful.
There you go.
Yeah.
And so my advice to all the artists out there is follow Lacey's work with the expansion too, and believe that you have just as much right as anybody else to be here and to do this. And also follow something that's been really, I guess, a shadow aspect of me is, I love comedy and I'm very good at comedy, but I also like drama. And a lot of times I feel like there's a stigma around comedy of like, oh, they're not as good actresses.
It's
I have a lot
way
to prove.
fucking harder than drama. I'll tell you that right now.
It is hard.
It is harder.
But there's sort of like, when shows are nominated for Emmys, a lot of times it's dramedies.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just a big balls out
Yeah,
comedy
like,
because
you guys are 3 camera?
we're 4 camera, multi-cam.
Whoa. Okay, we'll get into that later.
Yeah. But it's really interesting because I've thought about it, and over the years, it's like, but I love to make people laugh, and I feel like I'm here to make people laugh.
It's medicine.
And I love doing it, so why should I feel the need to have external validation of peers or awards or anything else that proves to people that I can do or be something that I'm not? And so, or not expressing at that current time. I'm sure there will be a time down the line, and I got to do a play in New York, and I got to do it, but I feel like it's you just have to own who you are and what makes you special.
Your authenticity.
Your authenticity is everything.
Yes, the more you tap into it, the more this happens.
Yes.
Wait, we have to talk about the show you've just manifested.
Yes.
Which is so wonderful. I watched the pilot last night. It came out on Monday. It's called The Neighborhood. If you haven't seen it, it's also very important in this current political climate of coming together.
Yes.
Tell us how you manifested it. Tell us how it's going. I want the whole thing.
Yes. Well, I started your Formula in Magnetism right when you started in January of this year, and Tubercles had ended, so I was waiting for, figuring out what the next thing was going to be. And on my list, the most important thing to me about my next job was I wanted to feel like I did when I was a little girl. I wanted to feel like I did when I was doing theater, that sense of love and community.
That's your authentic self for anybody listening, just so you know what the energy is. That's the feeling, the essence.
That essence.
Yeah.
And so I wrote this list of, I wanted, the basic things were that, I wanted that feeling. I wanted to be around artists who had the same passion for what we do, the way I did, that I had in that theater community growing up, that sometimes it's hard to find in Hollywood. And I wanted the show to have social impact. Those were basically the only things. And it didn't matter if it was comedy, drama, and actually Max Greenfield, who I had worked with on a movie before, who I was a dear friend of and think he's amazing. I saw that he got this multi-camera sitcom on like Deadline or something, and I was like, wow, Max on a God, I would love to play his wife on something like that.
Wow,
just had that thought when I saw it, and I was like, wow, great for him. And then like a month later, he called me and he's like, so I'm doing this show, and I was like, oh my God. And it's like you say, if it's not like hell yes, it's definitely no. There was no.